It's been a while, and I am checking in today just to say that I am back. Sometimes I just go through periods where it gets really busy, and I always feel like what is going on might not be worth recording, or I'm going to shortchange you all and just throw something up. And I know that's a part of the game of consistency, but it just does not sit well with me to not think about what I'm posting before I post it for things such as like videos. So my prayer is to really get a momentum going of consistency this summer, where I won't have to keep checking in and apologizing and updating you all on life. But nonetheless, I'm going to update you. So today is July 6, 2017, and the summer is officially here. I have been on the go, but there are still some things that I need to do because while I've been busy, I haven't been as productive in some of the goals that I have for my life. I mean, I've been knocking off, like, I don't want to call them bucket list goals, but like I've been knocking off things that I want to do. But you can't have an abundant life of all play and no work. And so I've done like the academic work and the 9-to-5 work, but there's some personal endeavors that will create a lifestyle for me that I need to put more time into. And I think July is going to be a great month to do that, because it feels like there's more time of being still than there is of me go. But it still feels like a busy month. So let's see, since the summer has started, in May I had the privilege to go to Ghana. I went to Senia, Ghana, and I posted about it right after, which last time when I went to Cape Town, it took me forever to post. I will try to include some video footage on this video of like pictures and things, but I'll continue to post on my social media. So if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you can find some there. But I went to Senia, Ghana with the Akumani Foundation, where we worked with Becky's Home, which was an orphanage, and I met some of the most beautiful children I have ever seen in my life. And I'm not just talking about outward appearance. So we worked with the orphanage home, and we also, like, the program fees went towards building a school that they are working on. Outside of that, we did some tourist things, like we went to some of the slave castles in that area. We taught at the middle and high school. They also have younger kids, so I would just say the school out there, which was truly life-changing for me as an educator, because I feel like I had the opportunity to speak with some of the high school students, and while I'm at a place where most of the stereotypes that we go over to Africa with, I've kind of already unlearned, I still realized that I had some ignorance. I mean, you're always going to have ignorance when you go to a place that you're not from, but that they were able to correct, and vice versa. Like, we were able, and one of the lessons that I got to teach with them was a single story narrative, and I got to, we discussed the things they thought they knew about me and vice versa, and we went back and forth correcting those things. So that was really nice. I mean, like, extremely nice. The kids are super eager to learn. One of the things that really stuck out to me was that they have like a technology class over there where they're learning about computers, learning how to use them, learning what the internet is, how the web works, emails, keyboards, what the mouse is for. Now catch this. In this class that they're learning about computers, they don't have any computers. And I'm not sharing that to encourage the idea of poverty or, woe it's them. But something about being at this school and seeing their desire to learn, even without the resources that we have willy-nilly, was just like, wow. As an educator, I felt and I still feel so encouraged and like motivated to do more. to not become lackadaisical in my teaching, to not sleep on the resources that I have, to not underestimate any child's ability, to push my children that I tutor, that I will have in my classroom, all the more further, push them further in their academics and put a higher demand on them. Another thing that was really interesting to me was the faith in Ghana. It's a very religious area, very spiritual. We didn't get to explore it as much, but it's something that you do realize is a big deal there. Like, it is a big ordeal there. Their businesses are closed on Sunday for the most part, because they reverence Sunday as their Sabbath. Some of the things that is condoned or happens over here is like death over there. Like, I think we were talking to someone about rape, and it was like, whether maybe it's underreported or it just doesn't happen, because they will kill you if that's something that is known, especially within the family. It's not to say it doesn't happen. It's probably something that if it does happen, it isn't exposed, because it can result in death or like serious consequences, because that's incest, and you know, in the Bible, how inappropriate it is to do that to someone. It's just like really highly reverenced over there. What else? I took a Ghanaian shower. Now, they might not call it that, but I believe that's what we called it. And so basically, when we were in Ghana, we bucket showered, okay? Listen, I wrote about it on my blog. If you have not read it, go read it on www.thewaiting.space.com. We took bucket showers, and I missed about one or two pre-trip meetings, and apparently it was in those one or two meetings that they discussed the bucket showers. Because when I tell y'all, when we arrived, I sat on my bed for like 3 hours looking at the wall, trying to figure out how I got here without knowing I was going to be bathing in a bucket. I wrestled with my privilege. I wrestled with being angry at the trip advisors and the overseers, because I'm like, there's no way anyone should make it to this trip and not know. It should be on every email. Like, I was just so frustrated and also annoyed, because I'm frustrated about a luxury that I have that I'm being, withheld for 2 weeks, and I'm mad at myself because I'm frustrated about a privilege of mine. It's extremely hot. The flight was extremely long. Bucket flushing. So now I'm not able to use the bathroom as comfortably as I would have imagined after such a long trip. I was like, I just sat there, and I was just really uncomfortable. I was extremely uncomfortable, and it doesn't feel good to be that uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good at all, because I'm sorry, this lady was trying to get over. It doesn't feel good to be that uncomfortable, because you recognize that you have the privilege to travel out of the country, but to be in a position where your luxuries and the privileges that you have are compromised, it just like, it's like, ugh. Like, I know I'm not supposed to respond this way, but I'm gonna respond this way right now. So I sat there for at least 3 hours. My roommates will tell you, like, while everyone else was unpacking, I just kind of had my suitcase open, and I kind of was just like, I would have packed differently, I would have packed to make it comfortable. And even that is a privilege if we think about it. The luxury and the privilege to pack to make an area that does not have what you have comfortable is a privilege. I would have packed more snacks, which would have caused me to avoid eating certain foods. I would have packed a nightlight, which would have helped me to not have to deal with the electricity going out. I probably would have packed fans that were battery operated so that I wouldn't experience heat. I would have packed more clothes so that I didn't have to hand wash. Like, comfort. That's it. I would have packed comfort. I would have brought home with me into someone else's home, and that's privilege. That's privilege being taken advantage of, and that is an experience that we rob ourselves of. When we know that we're about to be made uncomfortable. And so even that is a message that I'm receiving right now when I hear myself say it. So I didn't know any of these things when I went over there, and it probably was in my best interest not to know, because I would not have gone to Ghana. I would have wanted to go, of course, because it's Ghana. Like, who doesn't want to go to Africa? But no, that was not going to work for me, and no. That wasn't gonna work. And so I'm sorry, I'm losing my thought because of this car that was just swirling. And so I'm happy that I didn't know. I'm happy that I did not know about the conditions we were going to be in, because I feel like I had the most life-changing experience, and I was extremely uncomfortable. So as I mentioned, the electricity went out because the government is corrupt. So sometimes the electricity just goes out because of like the poverty situation. But on other hands, the government would just randomly cut the electricity out. And so now your refrigerator's out and you don't have any air and the fan is off. And I mean, just simple things that you don't think about are now compromised. We slept with nets on our bed to avoid getting bit by mosquitoes because of yellow fever. It's yellow fever or yellow virus. I'm mixing up the words right now, but we didn't want to get bit by mosquitoes. But by day 4 or 5, you're extremely hot, and so you're like, do I sweat or do I get bit? And now we're all willing to get bit. We're putting on bug spray at night because of where we were staying to avoid mosquito bites. I mean, it was just really uncomfortable, but it was so necessary. The water filtration over there is not as clean as the United States. And so coming from the US to Ghana, we were told we couldn't drink any water that was not sealed in a bottle or any sachets. And so now we have to make sure we have enough water in our house. And remember, the electricity could be off at any given time. So we're not always drinking extremely cold water. Sometimes we're drinking lukewarm to warm water. It was just a lot. And not being able to use their water means limited resources as far as what we can eat. Like, most of the fruit we had to have like thick peelings or a peeling before we could eat it, so it didn't require rinsing. So we had like watermelon, we had papaya, did we have pineapple? I think we had pineapple. All of our foods were heavy carbs. Our meats, so our protein varied from chicken to boiled eggs, and very little to no vegetables. So we're 2 weeks and that's our diet, and everything was amazing. The food was amazing, but even that is an adjustment to make so quickly. And if you didn't pack snacks, you're kind of like stuck with what you were given or what they had at the time. I had oatmeal, thankfully enough, but like, who wants to eat oatmeal every meal all day for 2 weeks? Nobody. So that was the kind of like woo in your face changes. But the beautiful parts of Ghana, outside of everything, because everything was beautiful, was the scenery. The people are so close-knit. When I tell you they are a living, breathing, this is their lifestyle, living, like fellowship, brotherhood, community. These people look out for each other like I have never seen. Like, my heart still jumps at the idea of how much they go hard for each other, how selfless they are. So at the orphanage, we met so many kids, and you always go to places where there's a bunch of kids and you think like, I'm never going to get to know their name. I'm not going to get to know them personally because there's so many of them. How will I remember them? Yada, yada, yada. Listen, these kids know them by name, know their faces, know their individual personalities. I mean, you don't get to know all of their stories because of like privacy and just the amount of time there, but like life changing, okay? And so they are living in a impoverished area, and the food supply is kind of limited. They have food, they're not missing meals, but it's not a lot of food. And when I tell you, kids, children, young kids, selflessly making sure their brother, sister, friend eats before they do. When I tell you that their lifestyle walks out some of the principles in the Bible, it literally moves you. And I have to tell myself not to get work like emotional right now, because I'm just thinking about how one of the nights we helped serve, and I remember this little boy not having a lot of food on his plate, and like, you know, there's like at least 50 kids, I think it was either 50 or 20 to 50, something like that, kids at this orphanage, and he gave the boy some. Like, that wasn't his job to have to share his food, but he just like gave him some, you know. And it's just like, what? Like, to prefer your brother over yourself is like their lifestyle. This is what they actually practice. What else? Like I said, the schools were amazing. The kids are just brilliant, and they have a desire to learn. Like, they told me they were applying for their test, and there was certain, like, they can tell you what they needed help on, and I'm like, that's just so, like, I'm sure we know how to go to our tutors and say like, hey, I need help with this, but like, they were running down to me different bullet points throughout the school year that they needed extra practice on. Give me more. I worked with a middle school group, and I taught them longhand division, one class session. I literally started the class like, do you all know how to multiply? Yes. Do you know how to multiply two-digit numbers by two-digit numbers? Yes. You know, putting examples on the board as well to make sure they did. Do you know how to divide? No. Don't know how to divide. Don't know how to do 2 in the 12. What is this problem? Show me what you're doing. When I tell you I left out that classroom and they knew how to divide double digits into double digits, or double digits into triple, you know, 4-digit numbers, they were doing it. Miss Alicia, we want more. Give me more. I mean, I was just like, Lord have mercy. You know, even in our education system, we are taught to, like, some lessons may take longer, and I'm just like, I was in there for one class session, and it wasn't even a long one, and they are like attentive and taking notes and using every piece of paper they have, every pencil, paper. When I tell you, they didn't have dry erase markers, and there was one per classroom. And sometimes this is a privilege that I didn't even know we have. When we're teaching, we have the dry erase marker open and we're talking. As the dry erase marker is drying out because the lid isn't on it, these kids stopped me midway. Excuse me, put the lid on. Because they recognize that is a resource. That is a resource of theirs that we are abusing or possibly going to ruin, which could affect them from being able to learn. So this marker, they parallel it to the board, which is where information is stored. And if that marker dries out, now what are they gonna do? They're all gonna pile around and look at a piece of paper? I was like, what? A piece of paper? They're using every piece of paper. Like, we sometimes use half a sheets. They're using half a sheets, tearing the bottom, using the bottom for something else, using the back, sharing notebooks, breaking pencils in half to sharpen both. I was just like, what? So Ghana was extremely life-changing. It was beautiful. It was difficult. It was frustrating. It was just, oh, I remember I was telling you about the Ghanaian shower. So I'm going to post pictures of that as well. The Ghanaian shower was when it rained extremely hard. I think it was like the last night we were there. Yes, it was. And so we pull into our little house that we're staying in, and one of the girls, who happens to be Caucasian, and I say this because of the comment she made, she said, I'm going to wash my hair. Like, it's raining outside, and there's like water falling off the side of the building. I'm going to wash my hair. I say that because as an African-American woman, me not being able to wash my hair for 2 weeks, not a problem. Like, not a big deal, was not thinking about it. But for her, she felt really, you know, oily and dirty because her hair hadn't been washed, because when you bucket shower, you have 1 to 2 buckets allotted to you, and so instead of washing your hair and sitting under like a Pantene commercial, you're picking what you wash and what's important. So more often than not, we're hitting those hot spots. And so she hadn't washed her hair, and so she was like, I'm washing my hair, like I'm about to come out here and wash my hair. And the entire house washed outside. So me, I'm like, y'all not really hitting the hot spots. Y'all have on, you know, sports bras and, you know, workout shorts. Like, you're washing off the sweat that you may have accumulated today, but you're not really clean. Let me tell you something. My group that I went with, which by the way was amazing, was like, you need to get out here and shower. You need to experience this. So it took me a little while, right? I did it. And I think I have pictures of that in my phone as well. When I tell y'all, you do not want to go to Ghana, have it rain, and you don't take a shower outside, it is the most freeing thing in the world, especially when you have the most supportive people you will ever come across there with you. Y'all, I had this cute little wrap on and this cute little sports bra, and I had somebody gave me some like Dove soap, privilege, and I was out there getting it all lathered up. The rain was coming down. It was extremely cold. It was so refreshing, and you know what? It was so freeing because it also debunked some ideas in my head about image and what matters and what's important. I will not say that I didn't take a shower because I was concerned with how I looked. That wasn't it. However, it was really interesting how I kind of hesitated to get that naked or like that revealing in front of them. I mean, I just had on a sports bra and a little, like I said, a wrap. But it was like, I don't know y'all like that. Like, I know we've been laughing and having a good time for 2 weeks, but y'all not my people. But the idea that, listen, you're taking a shower, your body image does not matter. It was just so freeing. So freeing. I mean, like, and I put a little trash bag on my head because, you know, that hair was already looking crazy. But what I did not need was my hair to get super dry because of the water. And I'm still in Ghana looking like somebody flipped me upside down and mopped up every dust area in their home. So I was like, well, we're going to do this the right way. But just wonderful experience. Like, I cannot brag on Ghana enough. And I told my advisor who I went over there, both of the advisors that we were under, I truly, like, just hands down love them because they're amazing. That last year I went to Cape Town and it was beautiful. Like, you know, that was life-changing as well, but we had more of a tourist experience. Ghana, we actually immersed ourselves into the community. Like, it was like, you are Ghanaian for 2 weeks right now. So get with it. And I'm so happy that I had both experiences because sometimes we go to a place and we only see what they want you to see. You don't get to go across the bridge and live it out. You see it from a distance. Like when I went to Cape Town, it was wonderful. I got to see their hardships. I did a few hours in their hardships, but then I went across the bridge and I lived comfortably. I went back to air conditioning. I went back to, you know, nice food. I went back to running water. I went back to a cozy bed. I went back to a toilet that flushed. I went back to it. So it's very easy to, like, to be able to say, like, ooh, they have it really hard. All right, can somebody pass me my steak knife? Like, but to be immersed in it leaves a different impression on your life, and it shifts some things in there. And so I'm probably, like, this video is showing me that I probably need to talk about Ghana a little bit more because I haven't fully unloaded or downloaded my experience there. But it was just like, wow, this is how y'all living. And I mean, people do it with joy. People are living that way with joy. Hard working, loving, family oriented. Like, come on, somebody. It shifts things for you. And a lot of people like to go to least developed areas of places so that they can come back grateful and more have more gratitude in their life, you know, so they can say, like, I really appreciate my showers and, you know, the privilege of water. I don't even think that's what I came back with because I already was grateful for those things. I mean, granted, I didn't realize how, you know, how uncomfortable it would be to not have it, but I was not ungrateful having it. You know, I'm not someone who just is wasteful of water or like throwing food out. Like, I'm very, you can ask my friends, I'll be like, oh no, you better get my money back. That's money going down the drain. Oh my God, are they closed? You guys, I was heading somewhere just to find out that this store is not even open. Wow. We'll talk about that in a minute. So anyway, this update is going on for a while. I'm probably going to upload this into 2 parts. We shall see. But Ghana was just amazing. And as you can see, with this video being at 24 minutes, I still have so much of it to talk about. Like, I'm not even done. But it was just amazing. So that's where I went in May for 2 weeks. following the Ghana trip, I had the luxury of going to North Carolina to see my sister, Ace Boom Coon, best friend, like boo thang, Shanika. She is pregnant with, well, she was pregnant with twins, 2 girls, Callie and Carson. I went down there with Rakaya, and it's funny because this is the second time that I've gone out of the country, come right back, and went down to North Carolina. So it almost is starting to feel like it's going to be an annual trip. But we went down there to just check on her, to make sure she was comfortable in her pregnancy, to get her ready for her labor, and just to have some girl time with her right before they came. And it was just extremely, like, super nice. Her first daughter is Chloe. That's my godchild. And then the twins that she just had are Rakaya's godchildren. And we were just super excited. I will include pictures of that as well. But it was just really nice to go down there. We spent just a few days looking for stuff for the babies, and, you know, just talking and laughing. We talk pretty frequently, so it's not like, so what's been going on? You know, everybody knows what's going on. We're pretty up to date, but it was just, like, really nice to just try a new restaurant in North Carolina that none of us had been to, spend time with my goddaughter, prepare Rakaya for her goddaughters, and just, you know, have a good time with some good people. After that, I went to Canada. I went to the Maid of Mist tour, which was beautiful. I have to include pictures of that as well. I had dinner on the CN Tower, which was amazing. Like, I'm gonna have to do a separate vlog just on that. And I got to see different parts of Canada. Very relaxing. I was telling my friend, like, I travel sometimes to do service trips and, you know, just to, like, sightsee and things, but Canada by far felt like one of the most relaxing trips I have ever taken. I mean, it was just really nice. It was a good, like, summer hadn't officially started, but it was like a good kick start to the summer. It was the same weekend of Father's Day weekend, and my father passed away, so it was nice to kind of be away on that weekend. I mean, I could have gone home as well, but it was just nice to, like, be thinking about, like, having a more lighthearted experience during that weekend. And now it's July, and, you know, I have a couple things planned for this month as well, but that's where I've been. And so sometimes it's really hard to record. Like, when I was in Ghana, I did not do any recording outside of the ones that I was, like, recording with the kids, of, like, us having a really good experience, because there's just this fine line between bringing the story back home and exploiting. And because I don't go over there on a mission to tell a story, I mean, I want to expose people to different things. I just feel like most of these situations that I walk into is someone's home. And so if someone came to my house with a recorder, we would have serious problems. Like, there would be no understanding of why you're recording my living space. Like, look at her bathroom. Her toilet's backed up. Oh, she has no food in her fridge. Oh, she's sleeping on the floor. Like, I would just kind of be like, what are you doing? Like, I'm comfortable. This is my home, you know? So I don't do it. And I'll try to take pictures and tell the story myself. It's always a secondhand story because, you know, it's coming from me. It's not from them. They could easily be like, you know, we have 2 buckets of water and we love it. I mean, I just spoke to Shanika the other day when we were in North Carolina, and she was telling me, this goes to show how your relationships don't have a bottom, how she, like, loved taking bucket showers, and that sometimes they still do because it makes them feel at home. Here I am, like, they only get 2 buckets of water, and she's like, girl, the bucket showers are fun. So it's a secondhand story, and just being careful not to exploit that area as if I know their story to be mine, and it's not. So I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, so I don't really have much footage. And then, like, when I went to North Carolina, I was spending time with Rakaya and Shanika because I don't get to see them as often since we all live in different places. And then when I went to Canada, same thing, mostly pictures. So I'll try to include those things in the video, but this is already at 30 minutes, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to upload this, if I'm going to like just do one whole 30-minute video, or if I'll just do 2 15-minute videos. I don't know. But if you did watch this all the way to the end, you are the real MVP. I love you. I'm going to wrap this up, and I think those are my updates. So expect more from me this summer. I have this idea in mind that I'm just going to go with it. I'm not even going to just like, you know, throw it out there and see what people think, because I'm feeling led to do it. So I'm just going to trust God and do it. But I am about to run in the house. I need to get my stuff for Bible study. My goal was to get some air in my bike, but I didn't know that the bike store that I was going to get air had closed. So the one that I need to go to is a little further, and I'm not sure if that's something I want to do today. So that might be a move for tomorrow. Oh, it is something I need to do today, actually, because I wanted to ride my bike tomorrow. Okay, so what time is it? I don't know. Thank you so much for listening to this whole video and hearing my whole thought process out loud. I love that you watched it. Please comment below, like, and subscribe. Share this video. Well, you don't really have to. This is a more so where is Alicia been video. But let's get back into the swing of things. I'm looking forward to talking to you all about some topics that I've been thinking about and posting more frequently. I know my goal was once a week, but I think with this summer and the way it's set up, I'm going to try to do more than once a week. So let me know what you all think. I hope this wheel wasn't in the way too much, because this was super comfortable and super easy. So yeah, love you guys. Talk to you in the next video. Bye.